this is Pat Freeman with our weekly sports update. We are now entering the bye week for the Buffalo Bills, and a funny thing, during this bye week, you have the passing of one of the great, all-time great Buffalo Bills, Ken Hall, center for the Buffalo Bills. Probably one of the nicest men that I have ever met. When I first started doing sports, he was one of the first interviews that I ever did in the Buffalo Bills locker room. We're in a room with great players such as Cornelius Bennett, Thurman Thomas, Bruce Smith, Jim Kelly, and all of the other great players from those 4 Super Bowl teams. This was one of the most cordial individuals you will ever meet, and he certainly was very good to all of us in the media. And we want to wish our very best to all of his family and friends, those that are mourning the transition of one of this, probably one of the Buffalo Bills' all-time great players, one of the best centers that has ever played the game, and certainly deserving of consideration for the NFL Hall of Fame. During this bye week for the Buffalo Bills, it is my hope that Chan Gailey looks at his defense and possibly makes a change in who's calling the defense during the game. Because George Edwards, unfortunately, is not putting players in a position to make plays, especially the pass rush of the Buffalo Bills and getting sustained pressure on a quarterback in these first 6 games. Also, the Buffalo Bills are yielding too many yards, over 400 yards in every game this season, and way too many points. Sooner or later, a defense must make a stand and be able to shut a team down. The Buffalo Bills have only done that in the first game of the season against the Kansas City Chiefs. Other than that, they have not shut down any team. They're absolutely terrible against the run again. And it is making their defensive backs, which I believe is one of the strongest points of the team, looking very below average because there is no pass rush. A lot of the interference penalties that were called in the last game against Drayton Florence was due to the fact that you're not getting any sustained pressure on the quarterback. You must make a quarterback make bad decisions. And Eli Manning had been making bad decisions all year until he played the Bills. But on one of the last plays of the game, he gave Leotis McElvin an opportunity to make a game-changing play, and Leotis, you failed. You dropped the ball. You must make that play if you want to be a great player in the NFL. So after the bye week, the Buffalo Bills will be taking on the Washington Redskins in Toronto in the Rogers Center on this week. And we're hoping that they can make some sustained changes to their coaching philosophy to put better players in better position. You're bigger. You should be better this year than you were last year. And right now, the Buffalo Bills are looking very average on the defensive side of the ball. That is my biggest concern with this team, is them getting sustained pressure against opposing teams' quarterbacks. And they're last in the league with sacks, only 4 sacks in 6 games. That means they're not getting near the quarterback, and this is a major problem. Chan Gailey is a very smart coach. He knows it. I don't know. He's saying all the right things in the media, but he's got to be thinking about making a change at the who's in charge of the defense during the game. And I believe he needs to give that to an experienced person in Dave Wannstedt, who has just about his entire career run a 4-3 defense. And I believe the Bills have better 4-3 personnel than they do 3-4 personnel. That's all for us here on our weekly sports update. We'll see you next week right here on our weekly sports update. I am the mighty OB'a.